A-arm time. Kinda. Working on making the other spindle. It's out of steel, it's a budget build. Eventually I'll start making them out of aluminum. Right now is not that time. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut all my pieces, and I figured, well, might as well record putting the second one together now that I know it's going to work. No sense in showing it if you don't think it's going to work. Oh, here we go. Okay, so got all of our parts cut, everything's cleaned up. What we did here is this is the old spindle for my skis. So what I did was I knocked 1/4 inch off of each side to narrow it up to 2.5 so I can move my skis in and out. Not a lot, but I can. Then I cut the shaft off the top, cleaned off all of the rust and paint that is miraculously still holding on there. So now it's time to start putting everything together. So, easiest way that I have found to put these together, we got our long 9-inch piece of 3/16 that is going to be used for our going to be used as the main part. It'll sit just like this. Now this did have a full circle around here, and what I did is I just took a flat disc, I knocked it off before I wire wheeled. So now I get to come in here and I get to center this up on the bottom of the steer shaft. And I gotta go find my lead. Little devil. Just loves to run off. Okay, so now we take our square, we go along the top and look into some light, which there's a window right behind you. So I can get these all squared up. Pretty good right there. Good and tight against the back. Centered. Tapped. Oh, I forgot one piece. Alright. Got my piece. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these up corner to corner. You want to get a good weld, you do corner to corner, and then you don't get rid of your weld. So, I'm not even close to square. I don't care right now. I'm working on not that square. So now that's good and square, or that is good and flat across there. Okay. Okay. Then we bring our square across. Went a little bit too far. Perfect. Still have to go a little bit more. Now you notice I don't use magnets. And that's because I don't trust magnets. Couple of things happen to magnets when they are in the vicinity of a welder. One of those is it'll mess up the bead you got going on because the magnetism. The other one, they're not always square. Now I'm just making sure that my angle to dangle is all correct here so that I can proceed. Okay. So, I'm going to measure up 2.5 inch. Do I grab my pencil? You're right there. Okay, as I said, 2.5 inch. Now that is going to go to the top of the next piece that we are putting on. What I mean by that you can see my line right over here, okay? The top of the plate, this being the top, so this flat area here being the top, is going to come in and butt up right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and burn it. Well, I'll tack it. Then I'll burn later. So I'm going to come in And just like before, we're going to make sure that we got nice flush corners. And tack that into place. Grab our square. Square going that way. I'm going to go ahead and tack her. I'm going to make sure that we're square coming up this way. Everything's about squares. The squarer your piece is, the better it's going to be when you're done. We're going to make sure that we put this piece on where it needs to be. Another thing is a paint putty knife like such. It is absolutely wonderful for manipulating what you're working with. So now I've got that in there, I've got myself a gap. And there I'm tacked. So then I come back and 1.5 inches up, after I figure out how I'm measuring that. Okay, so 1.5 inches up is where I'm going to have another piece. We're actually going to give it a little bit of room. We're going to go 1 9/16. Reason for that is you don't want everything absolutely tight because, well, it's gonna fight it. You know, fight putting everything together. And once again, these are going. The plate will be on the top of the line. So we will have a true 1.9 inches between the two. And now I had marks on the other side. I don't have marks on this side, which is just fine, because now just take one of my clamps. To tight. And now I have exactly 1.9 inches. Now those pieces are on. Now we got to get a hole in here. Now it's all fine and dandy and all, but I forgot about that on the other one. Oops. So now I'm going to have to cut the other one apart, drill the hole, weld it back in. Ugh. Now I'm just trying to figure out, I know that the top A-arm is going to go bolted right up in the center of this right here. And then the bottom A-arm is going to go in here somewhere. Now I need this to just have ever so slightly of an angle back. So I guess the best place to put it is going to be right about there. So 2 1/8 inch back from hooking. Okay, got a mark there. Now, I've done this quite a few times. I used to be a fabricator for 11 years. And there are areas where you do not want to use the square. The reason for that is when you have so many pieces like this all put together, it's hard to tell what's square and what's not when you're not working with the actual body. All the inside pieces, they'll walk around. As long as your outside's good and square, you should be good to go. Alright, so I've got that marked 2.5 wide. So I need to mark 1.25 inches. And right there is where I be. Alright. We got the drill press set up. Go ahead and set you guys up. Hopefully, I can stay out of your guys' way. The other thing you don't see a whole lot is cutting fluid. Saves you guys drill bits. Still got a good enough bite on it. Because if I can avoid taking that off, I'm going to. both drilled. Now go ahead and blow them off, and we'll get back to it. Okay. Now that we have those all drilled, they ain't cleaned up, but they're drilled. Now we have to go in this piece. Get it all lined up real nice like. Again, I want to make sure that we are where we need to be, which we are. You know what? That's cool and all, but that's ugly. Yep, gonna clean all that stuff off and make it look gooder. Alright, well, if that's the case, we're just gonna go ahead and burn, burn, burn away. Now you want to be careful about how you weld stuff. You want to always move in squares. So I'm actually going to hit this one, this one, this one, this one, and then this one in that order. And then on the inside I'll be hitting this, 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 in that order. The reason for that is it's got a better chance of keeping you square. Alright, that's as burned as I'm going to take it. So now I got to fix my other one, so I'll just bring it back when that's done. Whether it's today or tomorrow, it don't much matter. I'll just bring you back then. I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay. Now that we have those all drilled, they ain't cleaned up, but they're drilled. Now we have to go in this piece. Get it all lined up real nice like. You know what? That's cool and all, but that's ugly. Yep, gonna clean all that stuff off and make it look gooder. Alright, well, if that's the case, we're just gonna go ahead and burn, burn, burn away. And you want to be careful about how you weld stuff. You want to always move in squares. So I'm actually going to hit this one, this one, this one, this one, and then this one in that order. And then on the inside, I'll be hitting this, 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 in that order. The reason for that is it's got a better chance of keeping you square. Alright, that's as burned as I'm going to take it. So now I got to fix my other one, so I'll just bring it back when that's done. Whether it's today or tomorrow, it don't much matter. I'll just bring you back then. I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so got the other spindle all fixed up and whatnot. That was the last thing I did last night before I went in. We're back out in the morning, next day, working on the A-arms. So we're going to make up some A-arm mounts and see how everything goes. Got to set the camera up in a different angle so you're not going to be nearly as close to me while I am doing my welding, because the infamous sparks got into my screen and now it's all sorts of gritty. Probably should have known about that, but now I'm telling you guys in case you do this. Try and keep the sparks off of glass. Basically what I'm saying. They embed themselves into glass. So, oops. So what I'm using for this is just 10 gauge, 1/8 inch steel. That's it. Again, everything's going to be changed to aluminum after I know that this is going to work. I guess we'll just go from there. So 10 gauge steel, making my saddles for the A-arms to sit in. Hopefully we can get those all mounted up, because I'm quite excited to see how this thing's going to sit and how it's going to react with A-arms versus trailing arms. And then I'm going to have to redo my skid mounts, I'm sure, because I'm pretty sure those are taller than what the original thing was going to be, which is fine. Gives me more ground clearance. Perfect. Just my limiting factor right now is my skid,
until I can get a 155. Once I get that, then I should have, other than needing to change everything to aluminum to lighten the sled back up, should be everything I need. So, alright, I'm going to get back to it. Okay, got both of those made up. There's supposed to be 4 of them, but each one of them's different, so you got to build them one at a time. Well, 2 at a time, you know, each side. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Got to drill some holes in this one, and then start figuring out where they are supposed to meet, and make up a new bushing, because I don't have the pieces from the original sled of these A-arms. So I gotta make them. Woohoo. Luckily I have some material on tap, so I'm gonna turn you a little bit. There. Fancy dancy little drill press. Okay, so one more thing when you're working with steel, if you look, got a small warp to it. Now I was about ready to throw this in the drill press and just clamp it just like that, and then drill through and through. Can't do that, not right now. Gotta straighten this out first. I'm just gonna put it in my vise where it's gonna sit just like this. I'm gonna give it a couple of whacks and try and get her straightened out. Alright, so it's not absolutely perfect, but it is better than what it was. So now I can go ahead and drill through my center and then down, and that should be good. we've got to drill a hole here, ish, in the center, and then again here, ish, in the center. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. Then I'll probably, I don't know, I might roll around on that and just kind of make it look a little bit nicer. A little bit like I kind of cared a little more than not at all. Okay. Holes are in. And to do that to the other one, just go ahead and get it caught up because I know it's going to need it. And then we will proceed with drilling and mounting this. Alright, got them. Now I just need to mount them on the bottom of the sled. And then we can get the first part of 4 mounting parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 8. And I can do 2. It's taking all day. These arms are going to shuck. Oh well, it's mod sled.